Genesis X2 is coming up very soon and I'm very excited. We're going to see who is going to be the best player in the world as of 2025, probably through this tournament because it's going to be the most stacked tournament other than Supernova, and this is going to be a great indication of who can dominate. I do think it's going to be Spargo, but we're going to talk about their bracket pass and see who will actually win. So first is going to be Apple Reviewer, who's a pretty solid Mii Brawler main. I do think it's going to be solidly in Spargo's favor since the matchup is really tough and he does know how to fight Brawler types very well, so I think that will easily go to Spargo. But then I think it's going to be an actual challenge for Spargo. So it does have him seeded to fight Toraguri, but Toraguri is going to fight Cosmos before this, and I think either one could win. If Toraguri does win, then this is a super awkward matchup. I think Banjo has a lot of silliness that Spargo probably won't be ready for, and Japan is known for making crazy upsets with their weird characters, so this is going to be a pretty tough first match for Spargo if he does get Toraguri. Honestly though, it's not going to be easy if he gets Cosmos either, because Cosmos has beaten Spargo before and his Power Mithra is amazing. I think Cosmos was trying to mess around with Inkling for a bit and still has a Corrin, but I do expect to see the Aegis if Cosmos does fight Spargo, and I think it's going to be the hottest set of the tournament if it does happen. No offense to anyone else, but I love watching sword dittos, or just two swords fighting each other, so I'm excited to see if this happens. Next in the bracket path is going to be either Shiny Mark or T, which I think Shiny Mark might have to be in contention for it. I do think T's Pac-Man is probably going to be very good, but I have a lot of faith in my boy Shiny Mark, and if Shiny Mark Spargo does happen, I'm pretty sure Spargo has the lead in it. He's very good against Pikachu, even though I feel like Cloud does struggle, but I feel like Spargo's just very good at knowing when he can hit Pikachu and not overextending, not getting edge guarded that hard, even though it seems like Cloud's recovery is bad, even though it's not, even people know that. But I'm excited to watch this set. I don't know if T's gonna go Pac-Man. I'm pretty sure he's gonna go Pac-Man. I don't know why I'm saying that. He's pretty sure he's gonna go Pac-Man. So if Spargo does fight T, I think it's also gonna be super easy for Spargo, since Spargo usually dumpsters on T's characters and on T. So if Shiny Mark's going to be the match that happens, it's probably more likely and going to be harder for Spargo, but hey, it's Spargo. And finally, we're going into the top 8 qualifier, which will be Tweek. I don't think there's a match that Tweek will probably lose on his path to Spargo. He might have a problem if Beast Mode Paul ends up getting to him, because Hero is just that tough for Diddy Kong, but I think Tweek will just have it skill-wise, and if he does get there, then this is going to be really, really close. I think Tweek is one of the better people against fighting Spargo, who just not only is a good matchup because Diddy Kong can use Banana to just punish Cloud at spots that lots of stubby characters generally can't, and it's very fast and small, which is all just dangerous for fighting Cloud. But Tweek just has a solid record with Spargo, and I think this could be the upset of the tournament. Not that deep in, or not that far from like top 8, so it's not that big of a deal if Spargo does lose. It's not like he won't win the tournament from here, but this will be a very close set, I think. Next, we're going to be talking about Sonix's run. Sonix is going to have to fight Smirk, who is a Ken main. I think Sonix does amazing against all of the Shoto type characters and does very good against Ken, so I don't think there's going to be any struggle for him in this matchup. Very interestingly, he's going to have to fight Taike, the other Sonic main who's also in the top 50, who was amazing and doing amazing in Japan for the Sonic Ditto. Gonna be very funny because no one's going to want to watch that. I don't know if it's going to be on stream, probably not. So this might be the first time I see the Ditto other than Sonic's Wrath in a long time, because this is going to be cool. I think Sonic's probably has it. He does practice the Ditto again with Wrath a good amount, so it's not like he doesn't know what to do against his own character, but it's probably going to be a long one, so buckle up. So for a time, it seemed like Sonix just figured out how to beat Royce. He made the matchup that definitely seems very hard for Sonix, since Roy can chase Sonic down, can do a ton of damage, can juggle him really hard, can kill him really early. But Sonix has just figured out how to edgeguard Roy, how to weave in through the aerials, and he didn't lose to Roy for a while. But then we saw Supernova where Spargo's secondary Roy was able to beat Sonix, and I think it's going to give some inspiration to Acola to actually win the set. I don't think there's going to be a person who's going to stop Acola from getting to Sonix, but I think this will be very, very close. Probably the closest match I will ever see for the top 64. But hey, this could also be another moment where Sonix just figures out Roy and dismantles Cola, because it's happened before. So it could either be extremely close or extreme blowout. But either way, I'm excited to watch this because I love watching Cola. So interestingly, Hurt and Sonix have never played, and I'm super excited to see it happen. I think Hurt does have a bit of a rough path, since he still has to fight Louis Money, who has beaten him twice before in a tournament before he gets to Sonix. But if this does happen, this is going to be the first time it happens. This used to be a matchup that was super debated. It used to be like, oh, Snake can actually camp Sonic out, use his grenades to get in the way to spin dash, and it's so easy. Now it's looking the exact opposite, where Snake can't get away from Sonic, gets comboed to hell, gets edge guarded to hell, to the fact that Sonic probably beats Snake. I wonder if Hurt, who can be the best camper in the world, who can be the most offensive player in the world, will bring a masterclass in the matchup to make people's minds change again, but we'll see. I think Sonix is so good at dismantling Snake. He plays with MVD a good amount, so he knows the matchup very well. So it's not going to be a, oh, Sonix doesn't know what he's doing thing. It's just going to be who is the better player, and I'm going to root for Sonix for this one. Let me see. It seems like everyone's going to have a difficult bracket, because Acola's bracket is also not very easy. He's going to be fighting Kiyarash, who is an amazing Luigi player, but mostly known for being good online, so this is going to be one of his few offline entrances, but I think he's probably got that, since the matchup's not very easy, and he plays against Luigi's a good amount, so I think Acola's pretty much got that locked down. Then he's going to have to fight my GOAT Apollo Kage, who seemed to be having kind of a slump with the game, didn't go to that much, didn't do that well when he did go to stuff, but now is back and is doing better than ever. Won a tournament over Mutates twice, so I know he's doing very well, and he's seated pretty high, despite not playing as much and doing as well. Speaking of that, though, I still think that he has the skill to beat Acola. It's going to be really hard, of course, because Acola is one of the best players in the world, but matchup-wise, I think Snake does very solid against Steve, more than a lot of other characters, so this is going to be a cool set. One of the most interesting matchups was Acola versus Zamba, where at Little League Invitational 2 years ago, Zamba destroyed Acola. Like, it was not particularly close, and it seemed like Zamba knew what he should be doing against Steve. It seems like they're giving him another Steve bracket, since he's fighting Quip Soleil, who is one of the best Steve players in the world, right before he's fighting Acola, which is wild. But I think Zamba also has a very good shot. They're not making it easy for Acola. He might have to be playing Pyramithra for this one, honestly. It's good that he has a secondary for this, since it seems like Zamba's so solid against Steve. Feels like Rob can lock down Steve's options very well and use the fact that his mobility is kind of bad to just nair through everything if Steve jumps at him. But I'm excited to see this too. And for the top 8 qualifiers, we do have Shuton versus Acola. Interestingly, Shuton versus MKLeo will be before this, but I'm pretty sure Shuton has an absurdly good record on MKLeo, to the point where I don't even think it's going to be fair to bet against Shuton from winning that. I don't even know why. I feel like Shuton's beaten him with so many different types and time periods that it just was wild, because I feel like Shuton being a top 10 player consistently for the entirety of Ultimate just shows, because he just beats certain people every single time. Now when it comes to Acola, he has wins here and there, but it's still in Acola's favor, so it might just be better to assume that Acola will get to top 8 pretty smoothly, unless Shuton figures something out. So it's interesting for Miya, because he's going to have one of his best matchups in top 64 versus one of his worst to get into it. Not that Rosalina is that hard, but it's definitely harder than the matchups he's going to be fighting top 64 with one of the best Rosalina players in the world. I would say definitely the second best Rosalina in the world, with M. Popo being the one he's facing. It's so cool to see matchups like this at these giant majors. I hope this gets on stream, because this is one I'm very curious how it's gonna go. I don't even know if Miya's ever fought a Rosalina, to be honest, so we're gonna see how this one goes. He might be caught off guard. This might be one of the biggest upsets. In top 64, Miya is going to have to fight Umeki, who's a Peach player. I think they have played before and it was not very good. I think this matchup's very tough for Peach, so I think Miya's got this pretty solidly. I don't know if Omega can just outskill him, because there are just times that Miya just feels like he's the best player in the entire venue, no matter where he is, and I don't think this is going to be in a matchup to catch him off guard. Skill-wise, Miya versus Gluto is going to be very, very close. I do think Gluto had a very close grands match with Miya, but Miya was the one to take it, so that's probably going to be what's happening. That's probably be a game 5, but I still will give it to Miya. Again, hard matchup. Miya's good at it. Again, it's gonna, like, this is just how his top 64 is looking. I don't think he has to worry about a matchup per se, but he does have to worry about the skill level of the entire tournament. But hey, if he plays solid enough, he should be beating everybody, to be honest. Now this one's interesting because, again, the matchup isn't good. Like, Foxes consider Game & Watch to be one of their worst matchups. It feels like Game & Watch can upbeat everything you do on his shield, he can edge guard you very solidly, and he's very tough to lock down. But Light did beat Miya at Let's Make News Miami very solidly in a matchup this tough. So I don't know, we're going to see what happens. I'm going to see if Miya makes any adjustments. I don't know if he's had good Fox practice since this loss, but he's definitely going to need it more than any other person. Light also has to fight Snow, but I think Light hasn't lost to a Mario in a good while, and I still think Snow will be, if any Mario is going to do it, it's going to be Snow. And if Snow does beat Light, then Miya has an even easier matchup because, again, Mario's Game & Watch is not good. It's just so funny. Miya just had such a bracket where he wins all of these matchups legitimately, but it's going to be tough for him to get into top 64, in my opinion. I think Mpopo is probably not going to beat him, but if he does, then I called it. It's going to be a crazy upset, and he's going to pretty much need to practice for Rosa and Fox, because I think he has played enough of the other people to know what he should be doing when he faces them. I just want to do a video talking about the path to top 8. Of course, top 8 is probably going to go how it usually goes, but there's lots of upsets that are likely to happen. We're just going to see how the top 64 goes. Make sure you watch Genesis and see the amazing sets. I'll be probably doing a watch party myself, so if you want to come to my Twitch and watch that when it comes out, I will appreciate that. But have a great day.